by 60 points to 21. They set up a semi-final in Wellington next week against the Hurricanes, and the Lions victorious over the Crusaders earlier today. They will take on the Highlanders in Johannesburg. Rob Kempson is standing by with tonight's post-match presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matt. What an outstanding game we had yesterday, particularly the Chiefs and the skills, array of skills that they showed us. It was a team effort, but there was one standout performer, and that was Damian McKenzie. And to hand over his prize from Vodacom is Mr. Alberts Brett. Oh, Damon, outstanding effort, particularly from your backs this evening.
Yeah, you know, it was great all-round team effort, I think. Played some good footy in that first half, and then the Stormers really come out in that second half and made it tough for us. Obviously, credit to the Stormers. You know, they've had a great season, and just really happy with how the boys played tonight.
How difficult was it travelling, finding out last minute and come to Cape Town in the beautiful weather you had all week?
Yeah, you know, it was a lot of travel, I guess, coming straight from Dunedin all the way over to Cape Town. You know, it's been awesome. Everyone's been very welcoming here. We love coming to Cape Town. It's a nice city. So, you know, back home now against the Canes, I see. So we'll be looking forward to that. All
the best with that, man, and good luck.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Damien. And I'll shake his hand this time. And bringing Schalk Burger, Schala, not the way you wanted to end it here at Newlands, but you guys really tried right to the end.
Oh, partner, not much we can say about that performance. Obviously, credit to the Chiefs. You know, we expected them to come out with aggression and intensity, and they did that. And, you know, we basically got blown out the water after 20 minutes, so yeah, disappointing. But again, yeah, we never stopped trying, but, you know, disappointing result for us.
You must have been exceptionally happy with that start, and then just things kind of fell away.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. It's sort of a horror movie for us out there. So towards then, you know, the harder you try, you know, the worse things get. So yeah, unfortunately for us, didn't go our way. But I suppose, you know, for a young group, we got to a quarterfinal. Thanks to the crowd. Sorry about tonight. But I mean, I think a lot of hard lessons learned tonight, and, you know, hopefully they can evolve the game forward.
Last game at Newlands?
Yeah, definitely the last game at Newlands. Obviously, not the most memorable one, thanks to the Chiefs. But, you know, look, I think we've got to have a good perspective, good look about this. I'll have a few days, and thanks to the crowd for supporting me over the years. It's been a good innings, and sorry about tonight.
And thank you too, Scott. I think, you know, particularly in Western Province, the Stormers and South African rugby, a stalwart of the game for us and an ambassador. Thank you very much for all that you've done.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
There was Schalk Burger. Tonight's winning captain, Aaron Cruden. Exceptional team effort right from the outset.
Yeah, it was. We knew it was going to have to be over here. We know the Stormers, you know, they're an extremely strong and passionate side. So we were lucky we got off to a really good start and put some early points on the board, and then we were able to sort of keep that tempo going for the full 80 minutes. And, you know, we've got a young group of guys that just are really enjoying each other's, I guess, company, enjoying each other's passion out on the field, and it's really showing.
You did travel quite late. Just, you know, thoughts of the backroom staff. They put it all together and ensure that you guys can perform, particularly with the short turnaround.
Yeah, it's huge. The coaching group, the management group, you know, they do everything they can just to ensure that we as players can get out there and sort of do the job. And you know, it's never an easy ask coming over here to South Africa, but yeah, I think we prepared really well, and we're going to have to do the same heading back to New Zealand next week.
Tough semi-final.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. I believe we're in Wellington against the Hurricanes, so they had a really good win against the Sharks, and we're just going to have to make sure we recover well, prepare for a tough battle down there, and you know, give it our all and see what happens.
Grant, thanks very much for your time, and all the best for the semis.
Thank you very much.
21-60, and not great reading at all, unfortunately, for the DHL Stormers. That makes it a 39-point margin, unfortunately, for the Cape Town team. And not great reading either for the Sharks, who earlier today lost by a 41-point margin. So 2 games, sadly, which didn't quite live up to the hype of quarterfinals. But well done to the Lions. Well done to the Chiefs, though, certainly proving that the Stormers missed out something in not playing the New Zealand teams. They looked like a team that were out of their depth, not used to the physicality and the pace that the New Zealanders injected into this match, Nick.
Well, I think you've hit it nail on the head. They weren't used to the physicality on defence. The Chiefs managed to make, I think, over 100 tackles. So they were putting in lots and lots of tackles, whereas the Stormers were half as many tackles. But because of the defence of the Chiefs, they turned over so much ball and managed to create try-scoring opportunities. Also, their offensive kicking game was very, very good. Aaron Cruden was outstanding with that. Even the last try by McKenzie, the little chip over the top. It's a real lesson. But what we've been saying all along is that it's a strange format that allows the Brumbies to play at home and the Stormers to play at home when they've got fewer log points than the two New Zealand sides who they face. Yeah. And the Chiefs have been, log leaders all the way through the season. They have a terribly difficult local derby that knocks them from first down to third. Yeah. They've got to come to the Stormers. They put 60 points against the Stormers today. 60 points on them, 7 or 8 tries, I'm not sure. I mean, if that doesn't show the gulf between the standards of the competitions, the New Zealand log, the way they've got their teams operating, and Australia they're very poor at the moment, but we are closer to Australia than we are to New Zealand, apart from the Lions. The Lions are a good side. I mean, this morning, the Sharks, were terrible. We're just terrible. And to travel all the way over there and be beaten 40 points to 0, you can't be positive about that. It was just poor rugby, and they played without the conviction or the intensity that you want from your players at this stage of the season. You look at this Chiefs side and the New Zealand derbies, the New Zealand games, there's so much intensity, physicality, skill, speed, intelligence, but passion and enjoyment. And it looks like we're not enjoying it, except for the Lions. I keep on going back to the Lions, are a team who enjoy their rugby. They've learned to play the way that the New Zealand teams have played over the last 3 years, and they are bearing the fruits of their hard work. So great stuff for the Lions. I'm so proud of them. It's been what we've been talking about for so long. The future of South African rugby is moving more towards the way the Lions play, and not, these two performances from the Sharks and the Stormers.
Well, if you look at how close the New Zealand teams finished up at the end of the regular season, Kaya, one of any 1 or 4 teams could have finished top of that conference, which is indication of just how tight it was.
Yeah, and then the 5th team has got more log points than the Brumbies, and they can't make the playoffs. So on the one aspect, it's something that maybe the competition needs to look at and find a way of restructuring, so to give those, a team like the Blues who, yes, they started off badly, but the way they finished, they certainly deserve something out of this. Australian teams, yes, Nick, you mentioned it. They've been very disappointing throughout this competition. Brumbies, very bad discipline record. And, it was sad to see Larkham almost in tears about how they lost to the Highlanders. Whereas I think the Brumbies, in all fairness, should never have even been in a position of a playoff.
Yeah, he was certainly almost in tears. Talking about almost in tears, this is why you never put money on rugby. We're all rugby fans in the studio, but Yengo, I don't know how much he bet. I don't know. But at least he's got somebody to see.
No. She's just broken up with him.
Maybe that's what it's...
She's saying, I just want to be your friend.
Or maybe she's saying, look, like a joker say,
I just want to be your friend
zone.
You've got to support the Lions. Is that maybe what she's saying?
You should have been a Lion.
Should have been a Lion supporter. Or maybe Breyton Paulse, she's defected to the Chiefs.
If he's crying about rugby, I promise you, he must get a life, man. Because it's a sport, guys.
It's a game, guys. It's a game. It's a game. It's a tough one, unfortunately. And Breyton Paulse, a lot of people now obviously talking about what these results mean for next weekend. But we can now confirm who will play who. We know that the Lions finishing second have a home semi-final, and the Hurricanes finishing top have a home semi-final.
Well, you've got to love the passion that we just saw, It means so much to the fans, and I think we all appreciate, the fans wanting their teams to do well. But let's be honest, the Stormers were taught a rugby lesson tonight, and throughout the season, they really had trouble in installing confidence in all their players and the way they play. And that's why Nick and I think all the South African fans are really proud of how the Lions are doing at the moment and looking good to go forward in this competition. But guys, it's been confirmed. Congrats to all these teams who's made it to the semi-final. We can talk a lot about the format and, how it should be structured, but After all, the Hurricanes will play the Chiefs next week Friday, and then Saturday afternoon, times to be confirmed, the Lions will be playing against the defending champions, Nick. Wow, that's a tough one.
Fantastic.
We all know how good the Highlanders are. They work for each other. It's a very workman-like team.
It is. They've got world-class players in the two Smiths, Aaron and Ben Smith, and then I think Sapuanga is a really, really good player as well. Their two wingers, Osborne, Nadolo, wonderful attackers, and they've got a workman-like pack that are incredibly. They work hard for each other, and the whole is more important than the individuals in that pack. So it's a game the Lions can definitely win. Without any doubt, they have the confidence and they have the team spirit and the gees required, I think, to go into a final. And they're playing at home, which is such a big advantage for them. Let's make sure the crowds turn out. Let's get 40,000 people to that game, and keep the prices reasonable so that the fans can enjoy and participate in what hopefully will be a Lions team making the final of the competition and playing a brand of rugby that South Africans can be really proud of.
Kaya, the Hurricanes, Chiefs, Canes looked really good this morning against the Sharks. The Chiefs, they travelled all the way, took them almost 2 days. Now they got to go back. And it didn't look like a team tonight against the Stormers who travelled, 2 days around the world.
It looked like they've been living in Cape Town for a while, and they played almost like they were playing a home knockout game. I think a lot of Lions faithful are now down on one knee now, hoping that the Chiefs will pull a miracle when they get back to New Zealand. But the look of the Canes, and obviously those crucial matchups, a Cruden versus a Barrett, for example, are going to be the difference in that game. And I think the Hurricanes will just have too much on a travelling Chiefs.
Just going back to the to the final game of the Super Rugby season, where there were those two derbies, the quality of those two matches both those games were test match quality, fantastic skills, defence, and huge intensity. So we're looking. I mean, that game, the Chiefs against they'll be playing.
The
Hurricanes. The Hurricanes. Canes having finished first. That is we're going to be in for a fantastic game of rugby. Highlanders having to travel all the way over to the Lions, playing at home at the Emirates Park, which has now become quite a fortress for them, with a whole lot of South African supporters hopefully backing the Lions. We've got a very good chance of getting a team into the final, which will be an outstanding achievement given the strength of the New Zealand sides this year.